Hey guys, thanks for tuning to my drive-by. 91 degrees. I'm on the I-75 going southbound, and I hope everybody is healthy, wealthy, and wise. And listen, today is September 14th, 2015. It's Monday, about 2:57, and let's get shit straight. I guess this is a get shit straight drive-by video. Let's just get everything straight and into perspective. You know, I hear so many wrong advice on YouTube. It's friggin' insane. Okay, number one, this is going to be about guns. It's going to be about calibers. What's the best caliber to carry? The best caliber defense? You know, I hear so much shit. Everybody says different things. And I am just going to go by facts, okay? I'll go by military facts. I'll go by FBI facts. I'll go by police facts. I'll go by facts that are very, 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 very hard to refute. Number one, the caliber that's probably killed more people is the .357 for defensive purposes and shooting, okay? 357, probably without a doubt, hands down, was the most effective and destroying round made. 357. Now let's get by that and let's move on. Initially, the U.S. military used to carry 38s, but they found out when they shot enemies, they were relatively ineffective. Because number one, it was a 38. It really wasn't a big bullet. It would not penetrate clothing and stuff like that. And let's face it, in the military, when you're shooting and fighting, you're not going to probably have the opportunity to get a headshot, a hard shot, lung shot, blah, blah, blah. Okay? Because most people are going to be wearing some kind of armor or something. And on top of it, in that kind of ranges, and when you're shooting with the handgun, it's very ineffective because you're going to be shooting at targets probably further than 21 feet. And even if you are 21 feet, unless you're a very good skilled marksman, you're not going to hit what you're shooting at. So that was the whole situation. So the military said we need a new round. And so came up the .45ACP, 45 automatic Colt pistol bullet. Ball ammo. Ball ammo is like a full metal jacket. Basically, that's ball ammo. There's no hollow point. There's no hole in it. We don't have to worry about expansion. You know, they wanted a big, heavy bullet that would penetrate clothing, break bones, and pierce vital organs and stop the enemy. So what happened is they adopted the .45 Colt. So 45 Colt was the gun they used, okay, in the military. It was used for a very long time until the Geneva Convention spouted out and was talking that they wanted the military to adapt the NATO round as the 9mm. That's the United Nations NATO round they use across the country. They said it's would be less of a more humanitarian round. And at the same time, the military says, yeah, we have people using 45s, and they really can't handle the guns because of the recoil. 9mm, especially with women coming into the military, they can handle it better. So they had the trials and adopted the Beretta. Everybody knows history, 9mm, okay. And that was adopted. So that's the main reason they were using 9mm and not 45 or 38 or 380 or 22, okay? So that's what came into the scenario. Recently, they've been trying to change back to the 45 because they're finding the 9mm is not as effective as the 45 was. Some select groups in the military are using 45s right now. Matter of fact, they just shipped 100,000 of the new Colts to the military to be used in their special forces. So they do use it with other calibers too, okay? It's just that I guess the regular enlisted person is using the 9mm. Special Forces 45 ACP. Even more Special Forces are using other, even better ones. So when we go into that, and that is the history of it, okay? So now let's start in a real world scenario out in the streets. Cops. Now, what do police carry? Well, they're usually carrying 9mm or 40. I've seen a lot of them carrying the Smith & Wesson 40s. I see a lot of them carrying like Glock 9mm, but they're usually up at that 9mm or the 40 Smith & Wesson round is what the standard issue gun they're usually carrying. Okay, depending on the municipality, some carry the 40, some carry the 9mm, some carry the Glock, some carry Springfields, but it's usually SIG or Glocks. That's what I see a lot of them. And I see people carrying them when I see the police carrying them. You can kind of notice what a SIG looks like and a Glock looks like, right? I even asked the guy once. He said, "Oh yeah, I'm carrying a 40 Smith & Wesson SIG." But anyway, high capacity, good stopping power, bigger bullet than a 9mm. And then your special FBI and stuff, they carry pretty much everything. All the witnesses. Now, when we get to a defensive situation for a person on the street, why, my question, would you want to carry anything less than a 9mm when the friggin' police don't even carry that? Somebody made a comment to me, "Oh yeah, but the police can carry guns on the side of their hips, and they can carry those big 17-round magazines." Well, guys, I got news for you. You can get some very small 9mm, you can get some very small 40 Smith & Wessons, and you can get some very small 45s that are very effective. You can get polymer ones, you can get stainless steel ones, you can get carbon steel, you can get alloy, you can get all different kinds in those calibers, or very easily to conceal on your person. And a wide assortment of barrels. And you can port them, and you can compensate them. Wide assortment of ammunition too, so that should not be an excuse because of the size of it. You want to carry a 22 or a 380 or a 38 or something. Bottom line, if you got into a firefight with a 380, chances are the other guy's probably not going to have a 380. He'll probably have like a Glock 9mm or a 45 or a friggin' assault weapon, and you're going to have a 380. You're lucky to hit anything. 380, 20, they're backup guns, guys. There's like little cap guns you put away. Yeah, I wouldn't want to get shot with one. Yes, definitely, it would hurt. I'd be scared. Somebody pulled a 380 on me, I would be scared. But if you were somebody that had some clothes on, because most people wear clothes, right? And it was far enough, and somebody pulled a 380 and shot you in the arm, you would not die right away, or even shot you in the chest. You would not die right away. If you got to the hospital in time, they probably could save your life. Because the bullet is not big. And a 380, the ACP, it's going to use most of its energy to cycle the slide, to feed the bullet, to operate the blowback, the gas system in the gun. So a lot of that is lost. A 38 probably would be more powerful than a 380. You'd have to look at the ballistics. I could check that out. Because at least all the gases in that cartridge are pushing the bullet, whereas in a 380 they're not. The cartridge is pushing back on the slide and helping, and then you're losing a lot of gas through the ejection port. You hear that crack? So, it would be less effective than a 38, I think. But why, it's just why on earth would you want a 380? I mean, I just do not see it. I would never recommend it. I would never tell somebody or recommend they get a 380 or a 22 for a self-defense gun. No, I just never would. I think it would be, it wouldn't be effective. And if you're an instructor, I don't think you should be giving out that information either. Because, like I say, the best round, minimal, is a 9mm. The very least minimal round, 9mm. Maximum, it could be anything that you can realistically carry. Like I say, if you live in a pretty good state where they have gun ranges, and gun shops where they have a range inside there where you can try out 2 or 3 guns, you're well worth the $100 to take 5 guns and try them all out and see if you like them. And then you could get kind of an idea. But the old adage that some people, I mean, it's just imbecilic when they say to me, oh, you know, a 380, it depends on shot placement, shot placement, shot placement. You know, if you get the guy in the head, you're going to stop him. Guys, if you pretty much shoot anybody in the head with him, you'll probably stop him. Probably even a BB gun, he wouldn't like it. It would hurt. A pellet gun. But in the real world scenario, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. You'd have to be a very, very accurate shooter, and you would have to be at least at 21 feet, be able to consecutively put bullets in a bullseye. And hardly anybody would be that good a shot, let alone using a 380, which is not going to be a really big round, and it's not going to have as much energy. And number one, the barrel is going to be teeny. They get 1.5-inch barrels, half-inch barrels. Okay, you're much better getting like a 2-inch Glock with a Smith & Wesson 40 or a 9mm or something. And they make a lot of small ones. Look at a 26. That gets hidden in your clothing. So the notion of the 380 because it's small, it's a better gun to carry for some absurd reason is I just think it's a lot of bullshit. And, you know, that's going to get you killed. But these are my opinions, and only my opinions by knowing, when you go out and hold a gun and shoot it, you can see what damage it does even on paper. But yeah, 9mm minimum. Ideally, like a Smith & Wesson 40 or a 45 ACP. 45, a lot of times in some of the handguns, they're concealed carry. They're not very controllable. You have to move to a heavier, like a stainless steel or a carbon steel gun. But the 40 Smith & Wessons, that's a pretty good, really round. And you can always compensate your guns and port them. Because porting does help keep the gun on target. And some people are saying compensating or porting is going to get blind you at night. Well, dudes, at night when you're shooting anyway, you'll probably have a tack light on your gun. And if you shoot it, chances are it's not going to blind you as much as you think because you're always eliminating the area. Very few people are going to shoot in the dark. But thanks a lot for tuning in. And that's just, my pissy, moany Florida drive-by on what caliber is, I think, ideally suited for defense and shooting, and why the 380, I think, is a useless gun. I mean, it really is. It's a backup gun only. It would be a gun to have in a drawer, in a desk, a backup gun. I wouldn't want to get shot with it, believe me, but chances are the fatality of that bullet is not as much as like your Smith & Wesson 40 or 45 ACP. And you figure at 21 feet, you should be able to put all the bullets from your gun that you shoot within a 6-inch group. At least get 2 or 3 bullseyes. And I don't see it happening with the 380 because especially those 380s have such small barrels. And you'd get a lot of muzzle flip on those too. But like I said, you can compensate those too, but why bother? Thanks a lot for tuning in, and that's my Florida drive-by on pissy, moany, gripey, why I don't like the smaller calibers like a 380.